Generally speaking, humans are the most sophisticated biological machinery on the planet. We invented quantum mechanics, we built skyscrapers, and occasionally, we even figure out how a printer works without smashing it. However, the moment you encounter a specific member of the opposite sex who you find even remotely attractive on this blue rock, this billion-year-old evolutionary machine immediately blue screens. This is what we are talking about today. Why you act like a complete idiot around your crush. From a scientific perspective, this makes zero sense. Theoretically, courtship is about displaying your best genetic traits, intelligence, humor, and emotional stability. But in reality, your amygdala, that primitive part of your brain responsible for fight or flight, hijacks your prefrontal cortex. So instead of delivering Shakespearean wit, you produce a sound akin to a choking dolphin. Hi. Basically, this is an evolutionary glitch. Your body interprets the social risk of potential rejection as a survival crisis, equivalent to being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. This spike in adrenaline leads to several very specific physiological malfunctions. Let's break them down. First, there is motor function failure. Normally, walking is fine. It is an automated muscle memory. But the second you realize your crush is watching you, walking suddenly becomes a manually operated task. Left foot, right foot. Are my arms swinging too much? Do I look like a lizard person in a human suit right now? Consequently, you will inevitably trip over flat ground. Ironically, this performance is usually categorized as trying to act cool. Then there is verbal center collapse. Before seeing them, you have likely simulated the perfect conversation in your head 1,000 times. You are a philosopher in the shower, a stand-up comedian in the car. The script is perfect. You even planned the pauses for laughter. Then they ask you a simple question, like, "What time is it?" And you reply with, "Yes," or worse, "Banana." At this point, you don't just want to disappear. You are actively considering changing your name and moving to Peru to live as a goat herder. This phenomenon is even more pronounced in the realm of digital communication. Face-to-face interaction at least allows for improvisation. But texting? That is a war based on game theory. Let's say you send a message. The key variable now is reply time. If you reply instantly, you are a desperate weirdo. If you reply 3 hours later, you are a pretentious jerk. So you must perform complex calculus to arrive at the golden time window of appearing busy but interested. Usually, this is exactly 17 minutes. The problem is, during this waiting period, your IQ drops to that of a single-celled organism. You stare a hole through your phone screen. You start analyzing punctuation marks. He used a period. Is that aggression? Does that symbolize the end of our relationship? In reality, his finger just slipped. Furthermore, we must address the awkwardness of information asymmetry. Before your first official date, you have likely conducted what we call deep dive reconnaissance, meaning you have scrolled through every single one of their social media posts since 2014. You know they went to Bali. You know they had a hamster named Pee-Pee. And you know they are allergic to cilantro. Then, on the date, they say, "I actually don't like cilantro." And you blurt out, "I know." Just like you said in that tweet on May 3rd, 2016, the air freezes. The police are probably being dialed. You try to explain that you aren't a stalker. This is just modern due diligence. But that only makes you sound more like a stalker. So, why do we subject ourselves to this humiliation? Why can't we communicate like normal functioning adults? There is a theory that this clumsiness is actually a signal of honesty. If you can remain perfectly calm, smooth, and sophisticated in front of someone, it proves one thing. You don't care about them, or you are a psychopath. You only fear messing up when you actually care about the outcome. Your stupidity, in a twisted way, is the highest compliment of your sincerity. Of course, that is just a comforting lie we tell ourselves. The more likely reality is that they didn't notice your internal drama at all. While you were worrying about your walking posture, they were probably worrying about their walking posture, or more likely, they were thinking about what they want for dinner, completely treating you like a background NPC, except for me. My awkward moments are usually immortalized as memes and circulated on the internet forever. The good news is, if you messed up, it doesn't matter. Because on a cosmic scale, we are all just dust floating on a rock, and nobody will remember if you spilled a drink on your crotch in front of your crush. Although it really looked like you wet your pants. I'm Debug Human. You're welcome.